Okay, so I'm outside, just come outside the place, and it's a public holiday, so that means they can make no noise, because it's like a so-called sacred day, or supposed to be respect for those that have fallen in the pursuit of keeping a natural free Australia, which is somewhat of a joke because you know, I actually live in a total controlled suppressive reality surrounded by androgyne beings 100% every single day. So how is that real? But of course that's the illusion. So today is Anzac Day, public holiday, everything should be quiet, everything's closed, and I've just come outside the place. It's quite early in the morning. The sun is out, which is, I suppose, good, because at least it's not cold. Even though my body has been under attack all night from the military android, artificially intelligent control planes that go right over the roof, which is almost the same as going right over the bed. So I actually couldn't get to sleep for about 5 hours while they went over about every between 30 and 60 seconds. And there's one lurking around too. I don't know whether you can hear it. That's just a sound level presence of letting me know that they're around. So, they try to take every single thing from you, because they create physical things to where even you sustaining your body becomes very difficult. Like if they create pain in your body, then you don't you lose the ability to nourish your body properly even. You know what I'm trying to say? In other words, they can put you off your oh, I'm sorry about those things stuck in my ears there, but I didn't realise they were still in there, because they're not actually masking any sound, because it has to be quiet today. Of course, as soon as I go down the road, it won't be quiet, because they will have massive amount of traffic down there, even though it's supposed to be, a total quiet day, because it's a public holiday. And so that the sun is bright. There we go. It's very bright. Can I get that in? It's bright, and there we have. That's how we want it. But I'm actually, 100% depressed. I have to say that, and that doesn't mean that you don't keep going, but you're not optimistic about the reality, because you realize that you're outnumbered. Basically a game of being outnumbered. I've said this before. Of course, even to have one or two stalkers is mentally depressing and suppressing for a human being. But when you realize it's the entire suburb and the entire inner west section of the city of Sydney, that's like, and they're all combined using technology. They're like one mind against a couple of human minds, because they want that, they want to avoid their extinction. And here we have plane. I think the military plane could not help, but I can't see what I'm actually doing here, but the military plane just went over my head. See, there we have two civilian android patrollers going nowhere, just down to the dead-end street, which is just there, like that's like a dead-end street, so it only goes a few houses down and then you can't go through, but we have these patrollers carrying luggage. That's letting me know that I should be not in this vicinity, that I should be clearing out because it's not safe. And I've been aware of this for quite a while. And there is a military plane coming over, not over my head, but it's in my line of sight right now as I speak. I might try and show it if I can, but I'm not sure because I've got myself on the screen, so that means that you can see me, but you can't. I don't know what I'm filming. There's a patroller on the other side of the road too coming up in my line of sight where I'm looking, but see how the plane just went through the sun? See how the plane just went through that sun? Right in my line of sight. That's a military, artificially intelligent patrolling aircraft. These aircraft follow you wherever you go. But essentially, they have the transhuman technical connection to my brain. So they, so in other words, I'm totally implanted and tracked all the time. So they know exactly where I am. They know exactly where I'm looking. And that's how they can always suppress you, even with aircraft. And that's just one small aspect of this human depressive, suppressive, limiting mind control, inner West cult that really is the inner west section of the city of Sydney. It's a cult because that means they're all combined, they're all collaborating. See how that patrol car will patrol? See? They will patrol. They just go down there. They may even double back. Usually they just go up and down the small dead-end street. When you come out, it's the thing that makes it difficult to show is because it's not like it's always where you're looking. In other words, they're always suppressing your senses, but it's never like massive numbers because they want to keep it hidden. So they're actually stalking and patrolling you in a hidden, secretive, deceptive manner to where you are completely controlled and suppressed, just like the aircraft going over your head. But you can't show or prove anything. You can't stop it, and if you talk about it, it just looks as though you're being paranoid, whereas in reality they're paranoid because they are actually watching, tracking and suppressing you. And that's on Anzac Day, on a day where there should be no activity. But if I go down just a block down to the end of this small dead-end street, the buses will pile out past me, the cars will go up and down where they're going nowhere because basically it's a dead end here and at the end of the street. In other words, it should be where there's very little activity, just as these are false patrollers. They're literally patrollers. That's how they've always got their mobile with them too. They're always looking into it. So they're using even just the basic technology like I am here now of a mobile to literally communicate with one another. This is at the lower level of what they call Walter's Pyramid, or like I showed on the animal video where they were using a funny cat video to show that they're basically wizards. Because don't forget that it's like this. You have like a mindset from the smallest to the highest of these android beings, where they're basically, I better get here, I'm hot, where they're basically, I was hot there, where they're basically using the, the mind. They're using, see how that's a small dead-end street, you can't go anywhere, and yet these people on the street are just coming past this place. They shouldn't be coming past because there's nowhere to go. Just as the cars, when they go down to the end of the street, then turn around and double back and go away. Nonsensical. There's no practical reason for doing that unless you're a patrolling vehicle. It'd be like a police car, which exactly it is. They're using civilians as part of the police force in the inner west section of the city of Sydney. Basically, every civilian is combined with the police force and all the authority institutions in a total technological patrol system of me. See, over my head again, here. And these planes were going half the night over the roof of the place for about 5 hours so that I couldn't sleep because I went into a state of fear, unfortunately. Because I could feel their physical attacks on my body, I became fearful because you can't sleep if you experience physical pain or discomfort. And basically, this is another plane right through the line of sight, through the sun there. Notice how they're patrolling in exactly the same position. Them planes that patrol, they've been going over my head here wherever I go for the last 7 years, but they're just part of what they're using. The military, army, android force is basically just using every vehicle, every plane, every single thing that looks normal and natural to suppress a human being. Because you can't really stop traffic, even though you know that the numbers are far too vast when they have an underground tunnel system under the entire city of Sydney, which was designed to take the traffic off the roads. But wherever I go, it's always a traffic jam. It's always what they call peak hour, in other words, to where you have massive amounts of traffic, much more than what is even normal, because if in the past you had like what they call where the traffic would build up only at specific times, but now wherever I go, it builds up no matter what time of night or day, and none of it's practical or real. There's the police siren, and that is all artificial intelligence. Don't think that that's just a random cop car going past. No, it's actually part of artificially intelligent reality. Right over my head. Like I say, it's a public holiday today, so everything should be quiet, but it won't be if I go outside, which I'll probably have to. And they just extract my energy completely. I'm lost for words here, but basically they just take your human energy. They take your human energy and, they take your human energy, they take your human thoughts and your emotions, use them for their own. They're trying to become human whilst making the human race extinct and limited and suppressed. So whilst they, in their vast numbers, are using the dead bodies of past human beings to infiltrate the reality and live side by side with humans, they're using that as a camouflage. That's what they call the camouflage of the Matrix. These are like, artificial androgyne beings that are simulating being real human beings in order to, control the real human beings, and in order to take their spirit from them, because they think that if they can take your spirit, that will give them immortality. That's what their mindset is. This is what I've been told, and makes perfect logical sense to me when I experience this every day, because otherwise I have to say, why is an unknown, older, inconsequential person like myself, who has no power or no influence in any way, who's basically like, does the same things every day, doesn't have much physical contact, has no social connections, and who isn't, until now, wouldn't even be interested in the local area around them, but only doing this because of the control patrol system around me, as originally as a last ditch effort, hoping that the androids, you might change the mind of the androids. But you're not going to change their mind when you consider that, that they have all those ulterior motives in play, or they have a need to suppress the human being. They have a need to control you physically, mentally, and spiritually. That means taking your life from you, because as a human being you have positive, happy emotions, or you want to have them. They don't have these, and they're trying to get these from the human being so that they can avoid extinction or achieve in their own ludicrous, out-of-touch mind immortality. And who knows, there might even be some truth in it. I mean, what do I know? I mean, you've got to look at it that way, haven't you? Okay, so I'll put that candle on there. And it's quite... okay, I might just leave that there. I was going to play a music video, but, I think I've given the demigods enough scope, and I'll probably get up for copyright of my own feelings and emotions. Isn't that ironic that human beings are the only ones that have any, what we call any loving emotions, or even the potential for it, but they usually kill that loving emotion from the day you're born in this reality. That's the problem. So they want you to be like them while they reverse this reverse world around. They reverse the personal interactions round to where, although I don't think they can ever really understand the happy emotions. No, correct me there. They're like a psychopath. They can understand the human emotions. They know that human beings experience certain reactions and emotions which they don't personally feel, just as the psychopath is a cold-hearted, calculating machine being, really, in a way, because that's what happens when you close off all your humanity and all your spirituality. That's just simply closing off being a humane being, where you are connected to life, where basically a psychopath sees everything as just material or inanimate objects. They see me as an inanimate object. That's why whenever you express your human feelings and emotions, they automatically pour cold water and try to make out that everything you say is invalid. Have you noticed that when you're interacting with them? How they invalidate your human emotions because they want to make you dead. And they actually do want to make you dead. But at the same time, they use you while you're alive to imitate being you, because as a human being, they know that in order for them to survive in the reality, they really just want to control and have power, but they have to be seen as real human beings in order to survive, in order to infiltrate the human reality or the human earth, or in other words, control the human mind, because you're not going to listen to anyone unless you think they're a real human being. If you realise that most of your demigods and your world stage performers and even most of the people around you were really cold-hearted androgyne beings that are really nothing but artificially intelligent survival machine beings trying to extract your humanity and your spirit from you, your life instinct from you, so that they can have that life instinct and therefore they can go on at the extinction of your life instinct, at the extinction of your life. You know, that's the name of this Earth Matrix game. That's what it is, okay?